G'day, fellas, and welcome to a casted game. I forgot for a second where I'm welcoming you guys to. There's a lot of places I welcome people these days, so I just got to make sure I'm welcoming you to the right one. This is a casted game, and sporting it over on the west side of the map, we've got Vortex playing as the Red Holy Roman Empire, and his brother and opponent on the opposite side, the Luciferon, as the Mongols. Let's take a look at what his spawn looks like. He's got a pretty juicy spawn here. Found an Uvu close to his starting tree line, so not too bad. The only issue he's going to have is gold, but even gold, it's pretty close, so he's not going to be too upset with this. He's got the second gold a little bit further away. Going to be opening 2 scouts in this position. Over towards Vortex's side, he's going to be doing something similar, I suspect. Indeed, we see the first and the second scout coming out. Oh my... Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Even the pros make mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. Even the pros make mistakes. You know, sometimes I'll be playing games and I will run into a sheep pack in the middle of the map. You know that it's not your sheep because like you start off with 1 sheep under your town center and then 1, 2, and then there's like I think, hold on, let me just do the math here. 3, 6, and then 3, 6. So that would be 12. So that means that there's... Oh, I'm not good at this. Anyway, there would just be like 3 random sheep out here. And I will run into it and there'll just be 2. And I'm like, where the hell is the third one? And it's because somebody has like run past and they've just like collected the 1 sheep. I don't know, but like it plays this little sound every time you hit a sheep. It plays like a ding sound. And as soon as I hear that, I like immediately jump over to that scout and I'll check around it, but I don't know, I guess it just wasn't the case today, and that individual sheep is just going to chill out, just doing his own thing, I guess. Actually, there's 2. Oh no, we could have a situation right here. We'll come back in another 5 minutes, there'll be 3 again. But we'll have a look at how Vortex is doing in the base at the moment. Plenty of sheep around, you can see. Look at the sheep! Jeez Louise, this guy's got to be starting to work on his sheep. He's got so many of them floating around here. But how's he doing over here? 2 on that one, 3 on that one. Okay, there we go. Looking a bit better for him, but everything looking pretty standard for him. 3 and 7. That is your classic Holy Roman Empire build order. Now going to be taking wood. Let's check in over on his brother. How is Luciferon doing? It is going to be a tower rush, and that is not surprising at all. So for anybody wondering, how does this matchup go? It typically goes in favor of the in favor of the Mongol player. It is a difficult rush to hold the Mongols. Why is that? Why is it so difficult for the Holy Roman Empire to hold a Mongol tower rush? It's primarily just because what's the best way to say this? They don't like to play it out in the feudal, and a tower rush can sometimes really punish them and force them to play it out in feudal because they might have to clear it with men-at-arms, and if that is the case, if they've got to clear towers with men-at-arms, then it's not going to be the best thing. And at least that's the way that it used to be. I don't know whether it's still that same case. And the reason why I say that is because obviously we've seen nerfs to the Holy Roman Empire. We've seen changes getting played, or changes getting made, rather. But speaking of changes, we got a Meinwork Palace alert coming down here. Slowly and steadily, we are seeing more landmarks enter the meta. We've seen the Meinwork Palace. We've seen the Burgrave Palace. But I was going to say the Meinwork Chapel. But yeah, so do we potentially see 2 palaces come out today? This is exciting to me to see the Meinwork Palace, because this is really a gift that keeps on giving throughout the game. A lot of people will forget that, you know, the Meinwork Palace, not only does it give you faster research time, but it reduces that research time as well. And it's not just your first age upgrades, it's your second age and your third age upgrades. So sure, the Regnitz Cathedral, you know, technically it scales all game, giving 600 gold, but this is also pretty decent when it comes to scaling as well, because 30% reduction on costs. Like if you're talking, say, 700 resources, actually, do you even pay that much for tier 3? How much are tier 3s? They're like 150, 350, so 500. So we're talking about like a 150 discount on each one of those bad boys. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's a gift that keeps on giving. But I guess he didn't really have the juiciest spot here for dropping down the Archon. I mean, he could have probably just put the Archon there, but now we see the outpost going to be coming up once again. So he's already got the first outpost up towards the north. You can see the scout sitting inside of it now, really coming and being aggressive with this next forward outpost. And this is the difficult spot, right? Because Vortex is going to be looking to hold this in the second age. Highly likely that we see a response of men-at-arms come out from him. And in the event that we see that men-at-arm response, you need to remember that behind this, what is Lucifron doing? Lucifron is going Castle Age. That's his plan. Now, he might only be in the first stage at the moment, but it's about the plan, right? It's about you're distracting your enemy, you're delaying your enemy, you're forcing your enemy to invest in units that they don't need to, or don't need to, but don't want to make. Whether that be a battering ram, whether that be spearmen, whether that be men-at-arms, and indeed it is men-at-arms. So behind that, as I mentioned, Lucifron, highly likely he's going to be going fast castle, and then once he fast castles, it's just, it's just going to be knights and crossbows, and it is going to completely destroy anything that that Vortex is able to throw at them in the first stage, or rather in the second age. But going to look to try and siege down this mining camp. First, men-at-arms going to be coming out here. These guys are going to have to fall back. We do see that emergency repair coming down, so Vortex not forgetting it. A lot of people will forget it. He's doing a great job at not taking any damage on the scouts either, and using them to just sort of distract away from this position. And now we can actually see Vortex was moving out to siege this outpost, but he realizes there's a lot of spears in it. And speaking of a lot of spears, he looks to try and force these spears away from this mining camp, and he is indeed going to be doing that. In second barracks unit going to be coming out now. It's going to be the second men-at-arms. Lucifron's still age 1. We're at 6 minutes. Let's take a look over at his base and see what he's up to. He is aging up with 6 villagers on that landmark. He is in a rush to get up. Does that mean... Normally, I wouldn't expect him to be in a rush to get up. So I would be like, oh yeah, it's probably that he's just like, he might even be playing feudal just from seeing those 6 villagers. But you know what? Lucifron's a smart guy. He's not the kind of guy who's going to all of a sudden be like, I'll just play, I'll play some heavy feudal against early men-at-arms. That's not a smart move. That is not a smart move. Just go age 3. I think that's probably what's going to happen. You can see he's still got plenty of villagers on gold as well, so highly likely that it will be the case. But he's doing a great job at the moment of just balancing. It's all about a balancing act, rather, in the first part of the game. And you can see that Lucifron he's going to be careful in this position because he's got an outpost that's on the front line, hasn't left any units here with it. So there are 0 units currently in this. Obviously, he's got the Khan that he can fall back into that, but with the spears making their way around this wood line towards this position to solidify this down, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for Lucifron to hold on, but you can see the attention is turned towards this position. Second age comes through, and now the men-at-arms going to be looking to fight it out with the spearmen. What kind of micro we got coming in from Lucifron? You can see all the low health units are falling back towards the back. Scout going to be going down here, but Spear's doing a pretty decent job of just fighting, and now going to be able to jump inside that outpost. So the outpost does get up. Villager going to have to run away because there's no space for her inside that. But with that outpost getting up, it's going to mean that this position is solidified once again. And we're going to have arrow slits coming through. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 arrow slits coming through. I'm sure we probably already got the 4th one. No, never mind. There's only 3 outposts. Never mind. But with this is just absolutely difficult to deal with. And this is what we were talking about in the early stages of the game. How do you deal with this as the Holy Roman Empire? Because technically, you don't have to deal with this, right, until you're in the feudal age. Or rather, in the castle age. But you're just going to keep losing more resources because Lucifron's still gathering wood behind this. He's still going to be able to make outposts. And of course, he gets his stone for free. So he's still always going to be able to drop down the emplacements on these outposts and just annoy you even more. So you can look to try and expand. You can say, all right, well, I'll come down to these berries. I'll come down to these berries. Well, guess what? They're going to get targeted as well if you do not do this response. So as a Holy Roman Empire player, as Vortex right now, you feel almost trapped to do this, to have an appropriate response. Now, there is a counterplay in here. One of the things that Vortex can do is look to send 2 or 3 men-at-arms, try and find that gold mine up towards the north, and he hasn't actually found it, but ideally you'd want to try and find that gold mine and then look to try and do damage on that position. But it's one of those things that's obviously you're going to take away from your main army here. But I don't think you're under any real threat. The main thing that you want to stop now is just expansion. That's going to be the main thing. If you expand down towards this position, you don't want any more outposts to come here. So you want to do everything that you can to stop that. And now we see the villager being chased as well. Men-at-arms turning their attention towards this outpost. But remember, this is a great trade here for Lucifron. This is exactly what he wants. And behind this, look at Lucifron's resources. We can see he's got 700 food, 500 gold. This is exactly what he wants right now. He's in a decent position. He's feeling very happy with himself. And you can see the villager running in. This villager wants to try and repair this building to prevent this attack from coming through. But not going to be the case. And you can see the spears are going to be eaten up, unfortunately. They're going to try and make their way away. They've got the Khan there. Do we have the arrow popping off the maneuver speed? They're not even going to need it. Does he have Yam Network? Of course he's got Yam Network. There was an outpost nearby, Drungo, you dickhead. But yeah, he's got Yam Network. He gets out of there. You can see how low each one of these spearmen are. But it doesn't matter because if those spearmen are sitting in an outpost, they're still dishing out damage. That's what really matters. Men-at-Arms just chilling now. So I would expect from here, Vortex would look for a Castle Age transition. That would be the right thing. But it's going to be difficult. He's going up against a very strong economy of the Mongols right now, because they're going to have their Yam network that is buffing up their villages. They're going to have the Step Redoubt in about, gosh, what is it? Probably in about 60 seconds they're going to have the Step Redoubt. You can see Lucifron's resources at the top there. He's about to drop that one down. In fact, he's already dropped that one down on the gold mine. The wolves come out as well. We're not going to watch his perspective, but we're going to witness it as it just bites away. I'm not even kidding you. I shuddered as the wolf was attacking. Oh, my lord. And the villager ignoring it. Now finally going to be turning its attention and indeed takes it out. But look at the attack alarms right now for Vortex. Under attack absolutely everywhere. This is the consequence of those outposts just being very, very annoying. Always finding a spot. And it looks like Vortex is going to be attempting to do a little bit of a push here. So this push towards his opponent's base, I would say that this is an interesting timing. This could have come a little bit earlier, and I think it would have done a lot more damage. But I fear that he's using a fair amount of units to do this as well, which probably isn't necessary. So, as I said earlier, if he'd done like 1 or 2 Men-at-Arms, it 100% would have made a lot of sense. I feel like at this point, you're pushing way too late. It's highly likely you're pushing into a stable on top of an Uvu. And we can see him now turning his attention towards the Khan. He catches the Khan. So, a little bit of a lapse in judgment right there. Lucifron not paying attention, loses the Khan immediately on Castle Age, which is a big bonus for Vortex. So, not a bad thing, but does find that stable. Does find the Uvu with the stable, and that's going to be double Lancers that are coming out. You can see double Lancers coming out. Does find the gold mine, but the necessary gold has been gathered at this point. If you've got enough for double Lancer, I mean, it's already pretty much good game, well played at that point. But now going to be falling in underneath the town center. We're going to watch as the Gatling guns begin to unfold. Villagers make their way away from the Men-at-Arms. These guys have got the speed upgrade, but they still get outrun by the villagers, because these guys, I suspect, I don't know, I don't actually think they've got wheelbarrow. Yeah, they don't have wheelbarrow just yet. They've got their Yam network bonus, and that's going to be all that they need. And now we see those Knights or those Lancers coming out, and this is where it really gets difficult, because you can see the damage that these Lancers take. They've got 4 armor. They're fighting up against units that have got 7 damage against them. So it is it's a lot of hits to kill a Lancer. Let's just put it that way. You know, what's 230 divided by 7? I'm going to tell you now, it's a lot of hits. And these Lancers, you know, they're about to be accompanied by 2 more full health Lancers. So these ones constantly coming in, drawing away the attacks. And then now we see the next 2 sets of Lancers coming in. Got to be careful with these ones. You don't want to lose those ones. He actually does lose a Lancer, so a little bit of a mistake right there. But these other 2 Lancers are going to be more than enough to clean this up. These guys are going to be very easily capable of penetrating the armor of the early Men-at-Arms. You can see they've got that 4 armor, but the Lancer has 24 damage, which means they're getting through 83% of their damage, which is pretty good. That is pretty damn decent. And now more Men-at-Arms going to get cleaned up. And this is just the consequence of the push. And the good game gets called. So Lucifron victorious. Lucifron going to finalize the series here. 4-2 over his brother. Fellas, I hope you've enjoyed Golden League. Catch it this weekend, 15 GMT, Saturday and Sunday. I'll be there. I'll see you guys there. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure you are too. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one.